Nigeria you want that you will not get from the Office of the Surveyor General. Only recently, we have approved for them to set up a commercial unit so that Nigerians can interact more with them. They've done a lot of things which are very technical, which I don't want to bore you about, talking about continuous reference frame or continuously operating reference and zero order control. But importantly, the office has also acquired the satellite imagery of Nigeria and the digital elevation model for the entire country, so that any part of the country we can actually generate a 1 to 25,000 maps faster and more accurately. And of course, they have successfully reviewed the Survey Coordination Act. If you look at slide 58, you will see some of the products of that. You will see the first one is the orthophoto satellite imagery of Nigeria, the top one on the left. The one on the right, you will see the topographic map of Okigwe in the southeast on a ratio of 1 to 25,000. Below that is the image map showing polling units. That was done for INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission in Kano State. And of course, like I said, we can generate so many images through the Office of the Surveyor General. Your Excellencies, distinguished stakeholders, fellow Nigerians, there's no doubt that President Goodluck Jonathan has shown a clear understanding of the positive connection between good road network and economic growth. He believes that for every naira you spend on the road, also generate and add an equivalent sum of 1 naira to our gross domestic product. So that is why he's so passionate about delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Nigeria. This passion underscores the federal government's commitment to ensuring that Nigerian roads become not only better and safer, but also comparable with roads in the developed parts of the world, in order to promote the happiness of the greater number of our citizens who rely on federal road for economic and social engagement. As we progress with the transformation of the road sector, I wish to assure fellow citizens that the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan and indeed the Federal Ministry of War, which I lead, will leave no stone unturned in its avowed commitment to bequeath better and safer world-class roads to Nigerians. And as we move into the interactive session, I call on Nigerians to really relate their experiences on the road. I mean, what it used to be before 2011 and what it has been from 2011 to date, and how you see the road. I mean, with an unbiased mind, really score this administration in the road sector. But from what we do know, no administration, pre-colonial, colonial, or in the past 50 years, have made the kind of giant steps that the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan has recorded in the road sector. Governance is about the people. It's about the promotion of the happiness of the people. What makes the people happy? Our people traverse our road from one part of the country to another, either in search of economic activity or in search of social integration. And they can connect better with what the Jonathan administration has been able to achieve in the road sector. A few days ago, I was on a trip. I was rushing back to Abuja to attend a function. Then inside the aircraft, there was this gentleman that sat on my left, who I later found out to be a justice of the Supreme Court. He said, "Are you Minister of Work?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm Justice so and so." He said, "I want to commend you because I traveled from Katsina to Abuja and I couldn't believe we have such good road alignment or road corridor in Nigeria." And he mentioned to me again that he used to be scared traveling to the east from Lagos. And the one day he did it in 2010, he vowed never to do it. Then sometime last year, as fate would have it, he was forced to do it because there was no flight to Owerri. So he decided to go by road, and he said it was amazing that he thought he was in Canada. So I thanked him. Because in his word he said, "You know, I'm a justice of the Supreme Court. I don't praise people, especially politicians. but I must confess you are doing very well, so please keep it up. And I said to him, President Jonathan is doing very well because we are working for him. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention. I thank the viewer audience for their attention, and those who are watching us on screen, I thank you all for your attention.
I'm sure you will agree with me that that has been a very wonderful presentation by the Honorable Minister of Works, and I want to request that we please put our hands together once again for this architect. Thank you very much. The program once again is the Presidential Public Affairs Forum, and we are moving on to the next person who is giving an account of stewardship, the Honorable Minister in charge of Industries, Trade and Investment, Dr. Olusegun Aganga, for 35 minutes. You're welcome, Honorable Minister. It's a serious business. You're welcome, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the existing protocol set by my friend and colleague, the Minister of Works, Architect Michael Onolemene. And of course, I want to recognize my colleague and friend, the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. And say a very big thank you to my friend and brother, Dr. Doyin Okupe, the Special Assistant to Mr. President on Public Affairs, for organizing this. But I would be wrong if I do not recognize here the presence of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and other Permanent Secretary here, Dr. Mohammed. Thank you very much. The DGs and the CEOs that are present here today, in particular, the DGs and CEOs of the 16 agencies that report to the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. The industrialists and investors, I can see the cement group is heavily represented here. I can see Lafarge, I can see Makoju and the others here. The traders, our women that are seated at the back over there. The SME sector. Of course, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all those that are watching. Right, the focus today is primarily where we were in 2011 and where we are today. Let me start that at the beginning of 2011, the President decided to actually create or refocus two ministries. The first one was the Ministry of ICT, and the second was the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. It was called Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So any progress, any achievement of the ministry has to go back to the creator. We did not. He felt it was important that we emphasize investments, getting investments across all sectors of the economy. We never had that in this country. It was a first, it's still the first, and therefore the credit needs to go to him. When we started as Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, I've seen some people get confused here and introduce and say trade and investment. We are industry, trade and investment. He said we must industrialize our country. We must diversify our economy and diversify our sources of revenue. We cannot achieve this without focus on industrialization. We must bring that back, and the name of the ministry has to be changed to Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. So all this creation is a creation of Mr. President. I also want to say a big thank you to my friend and colleague, the Minister of Roads, Minister of Works, because I'm told it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Mike, is it the same thing? You accept it? He has more photos to show. I wish I had more photos as well. So I envy you in that regard. Very compelling photographs there. But at the end of the day, roads rail and all that, they are there for movement of goods and people.